Hey, how's it going, everybody? I hope everybody's having a blessed day. Welcome to the Prince Mosey podcast. Um, I'm so excited about it. Um, this episode, I really believe that it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be juicy, and it's gonna be filled with a lot of truth and gems and things like that. And things for us to think about and to analyze in our church settings and things like that. This isn't to bash any particular church or organization or whatever. It's just more to promote a thought of, are we really a part of organization, or are we supposed to be a part of an organism? We're supposed to be the body of Christ. And in order for us to do so, then we have to carry out our daily, lifetime, practices for which God has called us to. And I have some videos that I'm going to play. One of them I just got maybe like 10 minutes ago. I didn't even know that one of my favorite YouTubers, he's a Christian YouTuber, I didn't even know that he had dropped a new video today. But he dropped this video, and it was kinda about exactly what I'm gonna be talking about today. So that was exciting, and I thought, why not share this with people for us to know that these words are in season. And I'm not the only one that's talking about it. I'm not the only one that's trying to inform people about it. It's a very serious issue that we're having in the church. And I don't think a lot of people look at it like it's an issue. I think a lot of times we get in church and we begin to lose a sense of vision, I guess, of clarity, of understanding details and things like that. I like to compare it as to when you get in a relationship and somebody say you got rose colored glasses on, and pretty much you're so in love, all that you see is love. You don't see anything outside of that relationship. You don't see how you're supposed to still be making moves in your own life and your own growth and your own evolution. Your whole existence becomes about another person. And so, as with that, I see in the Christian community that we have cross-colored glasses on. And I'm not here to bash the cross. I love Jesus, and I believe that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And so I don't want anybody to take it out of context. I know some people probably will anyways. But what I'm saying is that before you became a Christian, you probably had interest, you probably had dreams, you probably had things that God put inside of you that affected your everyday surroundings. And when we get involved in Christianity, we tend to either put those things completely on the back burner, or we completely take them off the stove. And just an example is that growing up, I always wanted to kind of advocate for black people. Not because I think black people are better or anything like that. It's just because I'm black, and being black, I can see the struggle of my people and things like that. But being a Christian, it's always kingdom over culture. So now I don't focus as much on it, but I do feel like lately God has been saying, okay, you see the LGBTQ agenda that they're pushing on the children. That's not so much black culture, but it's something outside of just preaching the gospel, to where if you're doing it in some way, shape, or form, it's still a form of you doing what God called you to do. And that's why I came on here a couple weeks ago into the group, and I asked the question. If you want to go back and look at the post, you can. I asked the question, so if I'm a Christian, does everything that I do, is it for the glory of God? And a lot of people say, yeah, a lot of people say, yeah, a lot of people gave these long dragged out answers. And, I think that, I appreciate everybody who commented, but I think that we over spiritualize what I was saying. All I was saying is that if I'm a radio host, can I always use every medium that God gives me to, in some way, shape, or form, be doing a job for God? Like, I like to think about it when I go to my job now. Like, I work at Pizza, and I think about it like me going to work and helping people when I'm ready to go, and working as hard as I can every second that I'm there. I like to do all these things for the glory of God, because I always look at it as, Joseph had the spirit of excellence, and everything he did, whether it was mopping floors, being a slave, being the Potiphar's wife, no matter what Joseph did, he always did it for the glory of God. And so that's what I meant when I asked that question. And that is where I want us to kind of start to have more of a focal point in our lives. Is everything we're doing for the glory of God? Can I work at Subway and God still get glory out of it? Can I be a janitor and God still get glory from it? Can I clean toilets and God still get glory from it? Every aspect of my life I try to dedicate to God. Whether it be my gaming channel, and I play these video games and stuff, and now I got the podcast, the YouTube channel, and most of this stuff is Christ-centered. But when I'm talking about like the agenda to force this stuff on the kids and things like that, to me that is just as Christ-centered, because God knows my heart, and I believe that God put us here to not be him, but to be a representative of him in our everyday lives. Not everybody is going to be a pastor. Not everybody is going to be a preacher. Not everybody is going to be on the deacon board. So can you find a way to still give God glory in anything that you do? And I feel like that's one of my biggest things that I focus on in my life, is to make sure that everything that I do, God gets glory from it. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the state of the church. Why a lot of people aren't coming back to church as quickly as we would have liked to assume, with COVID being pretty much over. We thought like, okay, as soon as this is over, it's going to go back to normal. People are going to go right back to church. Everything's going to be all right. And really, people aren't flooding back as fast as we thought. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about did the biblical prophets from the time of Jesus and before, did we ever really read about any of them attending church? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about if Jesus came back, modern day, would he recognize the church? So we're going to talk about that as well. And I got a couple key points as to why I feel like Jesus, why the church isn't evolving as fast as it maybe could. We're paying tithes, we're having food drives, we're doing things, but why it's not really being revolutionized like as it could be in the modern era? It could be a much bigger deal at this point of life. Thinking about it 2,000 years later, 2021, with all the technology we have and things like that, the church could really be on a different level. But we're going to go over a couple key points that I have as to my opinion of why I feel like it's not revolutionizing culture and everything like it should be. First, we have a video of a church. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but it's the church. What's the McLean Bible Church? And how they were having a meeting during the worship service. Like, I guess they just decided during the worship service, no, we're just gonna stop it and have a meeting. The people at the top, and you know, some of the churchgoers started to voice some concerns that they had in the meeting, and the higher ups weren't trying to hear anything, completely ignored the guy. Somebody who's in the congregation, you know, he's giving tithes to this church, he spent time in the church, he's a part of the congregation, and they completely ignore him and call security and the police and get him kicked out. So that's a video that we're going to look at. And then we're going to look at Brother Alan Parr's video, a new video he just dropped today that I just seen a while ago. And it's talking about if Jesus was here now, how the world and even Christians in the church would consider Jesus a false teacher. And he gives some, you know, examples and things like that of why he feels that that's to be true. And I feel the same way. I feel like if Jesus was alive right now, a lot of y'all would say he's a false teacher, you know, because we've been so coddled by things and people that we don't really know what is real and what's not anymore. And it wasn't our fault. When I say wasn't, that's past tense, but you know, it's one thing to get duped, it's one thing to keep getting duped over and over and over again. Once you do that, it is your fault. So that's just where I stand on it. We're gonna get into this video of the brother at the McLean Church, and we're gonna check it out, and you guys let me know what you think about it. It's crazy. Off my screen. All right, we out. Get this off the screen. I thought I had already did that, but it's not. Okay. Let's see if we can check the test 20. All right, here we go.
Thank you, David. And before we start, I just want to say a special word for Ken and Judy. I so appreciate their transparency, their vulnerability, and what they shared with us. And I can just tell you that they're wonderful, wonderful people. And I don't know that I'd have the courage to stand up here and do what they did today. So thank you, Ken and Judy. I know you're out here somewhere. Yeah. As David mentioned, we have some family business to address today. To that end, I officially convene our previously announced special congregational meeting. Its specific purpose is to vote on elder nominees. However, I just want to acknowledge to you that we know that there are other questions and issues which we need to discuss together as a congregation. We will be establishing forums to do this in the near future. So that's not the purpose of the meeting today, but we will give opportunity in the near future. I will also announce that a quorum is present, so we have a quorum. So for today, if you're an active member of MBC, you should have a ballot. You should have checked in and already have a ballot. and I would like to ask you to fill it out now if you haven't already. We are voting on whether or not these three men on the ballot are biblically qualified to serve as elders at McLean Bible Church in our church family. Chuck Hollingsworth, Ken Tucker, and Jim Burris. All three of these men have been nominated by church members, examined, and unanimously affirmed by a nominating committee made up of both elders and church members. And
okay, hold on, everybody. He talking right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to the part where the church member interjects and starts to speak his piece.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Well, I'm not accepting your point of order. We're conducting this meeting, sir. We're conducting the meeting the way it's been orchestrated.
Here's the question, sir.
No.
Hold on, hang on. I'm gonna ask you to step out. Please don't do this. Don't make me do this. Please, sir, please step out.
This is a congregational meeting.
Everybody, we're just gonna hold off for a second, and then I'm gonna have you step out. We're not gonna proceed until you're done.
Thank you, Bill.
Let's come on.
How many of you know me? How many of you know who I am? This is a congregational meeting. We have shifted from praise and worship to a congregational meeting.
We're gonna escort you out, sir.
All right? So, the question I've got is, what is the purpose of today's meeting? It's a special meeting. And the voices
Said Fairfax.
Will you please come on?
need to be heard.
Please come on in, sir. Please.
My point of order is very simple.
Please.
Can we
sir.
start the meeting with a reading of the minutes?
Okay, now this is just kind of weird that they won't even let the man talk. You know, I don't understand what the point of that was, and why it was such a big deal that he couldn't talk. But I gotta get my baby real quick. He just woke up, so I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to go get the baby. Make sure he didn't fall out of the bed and stuff. Cause he be tripping. He be tripping. But yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's go back in.
Minutes of the prior meeting of June 30th.
Hey everybody, I'm gonna ask y'all to just take a step up for a second, and we're gonna push you guys out this way. All right, I'm so
I want to
sorry.
talk about adultery.
If you can.
I want to talk about fornication.
We're just gonna ask
I want to
everybody
talk
to
about
push out just for a
financial
little bit,
chicanery
all right?
that's going on here at the
I'm
church.
gonna ask you guys on this side to
This
push out just for a second.
is a congregational meeting where the congregation gets together and has the opportunity to speak amongst ourselves.
Okay, we're just gonna ask you to come out. We're gonna have somebody come in here.
I think, honestly, I think things should not be
What?
limited to this particular level.
Baloo?
Chairman, please, can you please let's cut this enough? For peace sake.
Okay, sir. We're gonna have
want to have a congregational meeting. That's why they came here today. You guys have piggybacked this to put it right after a praise and worship ceremony. I've done this before. It's unfair to the congregation. We should be doing this at a picnic. We should be doing this in the evening. But they chose to do it during the middle of a congregational service.
Okay, now the whole point is that everything he's talking about, I don't really know about. So I really don't care about that part. All I care about is the fact that he was just saying, like, I have a point of order. We're having a congregational meeting. I've done this before. And now y'all won't even, like, acknowledge me or whatever. So that's just weird how, you know, whoever the guy is on stage, how he has the ultimate authority to pretty much treat one of the congregational members like that. And obviously, like, all the people must agree, like, it must be some type of problem. They're all agreeing with him, so you could at least just hurt him out, I guess.
So the church has decided that it wants to have an open ballot, your right to vote secretly after 60 years at McLean Bible Church are being taken away from you. Look at your ballot. It has your name on it. This is unfair.
I'm going to ask you guys to take a step back. I'm going to ask you guys to take a step out. Is that all right, sir?
Yeah, I think this is a bad indication of where the church is. You know, I'm not saying that this happens at every church, but you know, if we could get the spirit of the church and wrap it up in a bottle, you know, this is probably a good indication of where the spirit of the church is. Not every spirit has the same exact problem. It's just the spirit of the church. You know, it's a lot of dysfunction. It's a lot of I'm in charge and you're not. It's a lot of I run the show and you don't. It's a lot of, you know, another thing that I've seen from the church is a lot of people leave because they feel like their gifts aren't showcased as much as they would see fit. And sometimes that's not always a bad thing, but I do feel like in the church a lot of people are held back from being as great as they can really be. Because if I don't see in you what you think you have, then you know I'm gonna limit you from being able to become what you feel you can be within yourself, or what God has told you that you will become, or whatever. So yeah, man, this isn't a good sign. This isn't good at all. You know, that the man had to be escorted out by police for a point of order in a church. You know, like, this is crazy, you know. And you know, I was going to finish today and do this other video that I have about, you know, Jesus and, you know, was he a false teacher? But I'm not gonna be able to finish that right now, so I'll finish it later. But you know, as far as this goes, as far as the church goes, these are some things that we need to start to discuss a little bit more. I'm not in a community church like that right now. I don't really have a problem like that. And that's another thing that we're going to talk about is, were the biblical prophets of the Bible in church? Because from my understanding, I never read about one in church. The only teachers that were in church were the Pharisees and the Sadducees. None of the real prophets were in church. And it's just something to think about. And but we'll get more in detail about it later. You know, I'm kind of running for time right now, pressed for time. So I just want to bring this stuff to you guys' attention. I thought that was a very interesting video. And so I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll see you guys later. And I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope you really take something from this video. It's a little short, well, 25 minutes. Not short in that aspect, just short on information that I was really gonna bring to the table. A little short in that. So with the next one, I'll really, you know what I'm saying, spill the beans and tell you everything that I had planned, and you know, show you more evidence for the statements that I'm making. You know, because I think these things are very obvious. You know, I think that we just have to open our spiritual eyes and pray for discernment in situations. So I'm gonna get out of here, man. You guys have a blessed day. Jesus loves you. I love you. And until I see your beautiful face again next time. Bye. Nah. But I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good day.